So we had to change our plans a little bit with the alternator relocation. We decided to go with electric water pump to give us more space. So we went to electric water pump. I have this mounted now with a bracket. Obviously this is all gonna get painted and stuff.
Fuel pump.
Fresh fuel pumps in the thing. You can use it as a mock-up fuel pump. From AEM. And we got this little tiny line I made because we got the filter pump with the tank you guys saw already that we made the sump in. So now we're starting to get everything kind of together, make sure we see how everything fits, how lines are gonna run, how hoses are gonna run, and we're gonna go from there.
We're gonna go around here too, the one and only, the Chancy Fab, as he fabs up the fab in, the fab.
The fab.
The fab line.
So what we're doing now basically up front is we made little custom tabs for the radiator, because where do we have the factory radiator here? As you can see, this is what came out of there. It's a single core. These were the factory tabs that were on it. And then what we did is we actually used a Datsun 1200 radiator. This is a 4-core. Thanks to our buddy Al, he gave us a couple of tips with that one as far as sizing and everything. We were trying to figure it out. Because that one fit pretty much perfect after we cut the little side tabs off of it. So what we did here is basically just make some little aluminum tabs to join the factory bushings and everything, and just basically mounting it up in the factory location. We also integrated an aftermarket 750 CFM fan in the back of there instead of using like the factory fan, so that one should help it flow and cool a lot better. So just basically getting everything else done here from the front. This is mounted up in place, it's all solid. I just have to connect the bottom part of the hose here, connect this one, which we welded onto here because there was nothing previously, because that actually goes up to the filler neck in the cab. And then after that, I'm gonna go ahead and cut and notch this little front bumper bracket, so that clears around the front of the radiator here. We already cut this little side ear off that was hanging off the side there, and we'll be all good to go with this, and we can go ahead and put the front bumper back on it.
Yep. It's looking good for sure. Trying to really start with the fuel. Got all the fuel stuff going on. He's gonna be at it all day, dropping in that new AM. As you guys one more look at the fuel tank. Electric water pump, bracket for the fuel pump, fuel filter.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So what I'm doing is something very, very probably known to the Honda community. You know, these dashes, 20 years old, they begin to get a little brittle. So what I'm doing is welding it back together with a solder gun and then putting fiberglass on it to strengthen it
up.
Yeah,
looks good so far.
It's a tedious process. So if you have an old dash and it needs some help, do this.
Yep, I think that's another spot there that got fixed. Yep, guys, this is how we cherish and replenish our old school, keep it alive, right?
Mm-hmm.
Chancy with the precise. Oh man, nice.
Oh, so do you have to cut that little piece?
Which one? Oh, right here.
Over here.
Through the reach, you have to cut that one little piece.
I just have to cut this because of this little piece that came out here.
Okay, go. Here, you want me to put the back ones in? That's where the back ones go. I don't know. Might have to cut the front. Yeah, you're not far enough back yet.
No, this just has to go over because of that wall. Yeah.
So this is how we're leaving this, with the filter out of the sump into the pump. And then from here, we're gonna do just dash 6s on this car because it's not gonna be turbo or anything crazy. So we're gonna just do all dash 6s up. So I'm gonna go up to the fuel rail. That's where I'm gonna figure out the routing now. And then we're going to hide the regulator underneath the car somewhere. So I'm gonna figure out where we're gonna put the regulator and figure out the routing of the rest of the lines now. The coolant, electric coolant pump is to be determined. Because we don't know how we're gonna route it yet.
Oh, you're gonna route it?
Yeah, we're not brainstormed there yet. It's to be determined.
Better look at the fuel right here, guys. Better look at the fuel.
See, here we have everything mounted up. The radiator's completely mounted. The top hoses for the radiator are all secured. What we're doing now basically was the bottom piece, which this is actually a bumper support, and it has a few mounting points for the front bumper. As you saw before, we were notching that out. It wasn't quite wide enough because of this little additional hump that had to be welded in there to kind of shift it over a little. So I notched it a little bit further. Now everything clears. As you can see here, doesn't touch the radiator at all the way around, and fits basically just like factory. And all we're doing now is basically putting the last of the radiator hoses in. And then we can go ahead and throw the front bumper on from there.
Are you finish pushing that one in?
Yeah, this one I'm going to shift over this way a little bit.
That got an OEM clamp my unit.
Yep, OEM.
I'll just flip on you doing this one. Just that factory little kink right here. Let's make some adjustments.
Now I'm gonna make some adjustments to this.
Right
I'm just gonna, just bend it a little bit, and then we should be good to go.
Alright, this looks good. Look over here, we're gonna bring this in. There's no more kinks right there, guys, you can tell. So this is basically done, the radiator and the fuel is coming along, almost done, so you guys will stay tuned. Electrical water pump. Try and knock this thing out.
This is Kim and Isabella, Gabriel's wife and daughter. I don't know if you guys remember Gabe. He used to work here with us, but he's always going to be a family friend of ours. So they stopped by today just to drop off some gifts, which she actually handmade herself for everyone here on the team, along with Nova. Isn't that beautiful?
Everybody's name.
So we'll be taking these
there.
home. Yep. It's nice. It's very nice.
Thank you
You're
very
welcome.
much. Thank you very
Merry
much.
Christmas, you guys.
Yeah, Merry Christmas. Thank you.
Thank you, Isabella.
Thank you, thank you.
So guys, the fuel system's complete. I wanted to show you from start to finish again, really fast. You guys saw the sump, the tank. I put a little spacer in here like we were talking about spacing a gas tank a tiny bit. So we got the sump going into filter to the pump. And then from the pump, we're going up here to the crankshaft side of the fuel rail, 5-cylinder 1, and then we're gonna pop out over here. We're gonna pop out over here, coming up to the regulator. We're actually hiding the regulator under here. Once the regulator's set, we should never have to touch it again, so that's why we hid the regulator underneath. And then you see it come back around, and it goes to the top of the tank. Now, at the top of the tank, there is also breathers that I'm gonna try to run later on, and run a breather. Actually, this is the factory gas tank breather hole, which is kind of funny. So I'm gonna actually utilize that. And then for our next step, after this is complete, well, it's pretty much completed, but as our next step, we're waiting for some parts. We're gonna start coolant, and you guys already saw this mounted. This is dash 16, so we ordered a couple fittings and we cut some stuff back. So you can see here, this is one of the factory radiator lines that used to run this way. So we're gonna weld a bung on here with the dash 16, and we're gonna run this conjoining the rest of them. We have weld-on bungs for here and here, so they're gonna go up to the dash 16, and the other 16 is gonna go straight to its hose, straight to the fitting that we're gonna weld on. This is actually gonna utilize, it goes from the heater core that we're still gonna keep in the truck, so we're running it back into this at the top of the head from the factory heater core mount. Now, I know there's supposed to be two, but on this truck at the front, the heater core line goes into one of the pipes automatically. So one pipe comes all the way back to get hot water to bring it to the front, but the cold water goes into the conjoining pipe. So we actually only have to run one heater core line up with hot water. And that's where we're at right about now. We got a couple more stuff plugged in. We got a couple sensors on order, and this is the remaining stuff that we leave dangling to make sure we don't forget anything. And I think that is a full update for now. This stuff is dangling because we're still, you know, figuring everything out. It's gonna go into here. It's gonna go into here. We're gonna start making some bracketry and some bracketry to hold up some of this stuff to make it look a little bit better.
Nothing's gonna be in the way when it's done. It's
Yeah, that's the full update for today. I'm trying to think if I did anything else. I don't think I did anything else new yet. That's pretty much the full update right now.
Looks good, looks good. Definitely looks good.
I know that we are gonna order clutch sleeve, and that Johnny is probably gonna run a line to what you guys saw earlier for the clutch. That's something that we talked about, and that's most of the updates I think for the Acty right now. When the cooling system comes in, you guys will see all that. We'll just run the whole cooling system in one day and show you guys how we routed all that stuff.
Alright, cool. And that's Jay. Alright guys, it's coming together quickly. You guys already seen the nice shiny tank, the fuel filter, the pump, the electric water pump, the regulator goes up top, over there. The vent, the OEM vent, regulator goes up here, other side of the rail. This one goes to the other side of the other rail, other side of the rail, and it's coming together quick, folks. So you know, we're on it. Stay tuned, more to come. The Acty will also be running alpha injectors, 1000cc, 1000cc injectors, alpha #1 injectors in the world. The bumper back on, Mike?
Bumper's on, boy. Where you been, my youth?
Oh, man.
We got everything done here in the front end, as you can see, like we were talking about before, just trying to get everything to clear properly and fit like factory. So the main difference is that radiator that we used, it is a bigger core, but it is a little bit taller. So the only difference is this won't be able to bolt into the bottom, but we're gonna make a little custom shroud to come down and push this out a little bit so that it's even all the way across. And basically look just like factory, except with a 4-core radiator and, you know, a lot more cooling capacity than what it had previously. And we got a custom 750 CFM fan in there as well, so it should be more than enough to cool this K-Series motor in here.
Thank you guys for watching. As we end the year, guys, and start a new year, we thank you guys for all the support. One love.
We'll have you gripping, don't get caught slipping. S1 all-wheel drive, got them on the skilling times. Them wheels are always gripping, them wheels are never slipping. S1 all-wheel drive, got them on the skilling times. Them wheels are always gripping, don't get caught slipping. You get behind the wheel, build it your Honda's built. It's military grade, but this is not a drill. It's American made, but we all-wheel drive the world. I see them changing the game, S1 always will. Got them cars killing speeds and just sound like artillery. It's all will indeed, almost like a war machine, like it's meant for the infantry, Air Force. Force, Navy, Army, and Marines. Now they clock triple digit speeds, and they got them on the bases. Must be all the innovation. Watch them racing information. Got the gauges twitching crazy, switching up the pace, shifting in a Civic or an S2K. This is not your daily S1, all wheels gripping pavement. S1, S1, you gon' want a test run. All wheel drive in the lane in the left one. S1, S1, you gon' want a test run. All wheel drive in the lane in the left one. S1, all wheel drive, got them on the skillings. All-wheel gripping, 4-wheel gripping. S1, all wheel drive, got them on the skillings. All-wheel gripping, will have you gripping, don't get caught slipping. S1, all wheel drive, got them on the skillings. Them wheels are always gripping, them wheels are never slipping. S1, all wheel drive, got them on the skillings. Them wheels are always gripping, don't get caught slipping. Even on the straights, yeah, warming up that A6. In Florida got the street cred, we rolling down the street quick. Got that MSD switch, B-Series or a ZC, and that LSV tech, hella clean, yeah. Tell them where to meet at, yeah, we go to Mexico, racing for the pink slips, and ain't no 12 to catch us, so K-swap the world till we spin the globe. K20, MR2, and SXCRX with the K24, reppin' that EF, go back to the days of the HF, DX, the EX, before them green underglows. If you ain't see it, you must be running slow. Say you in something we can't afford, but we got that camera cord that's S1, all-wheel drive, got them on the skillings. All-wheel gripping, 4-wheel gripping. S1, all-wheel drive, got them on the skillings. All-wheel gripping, will have you gripping, don't get caught slipping. S1, all-wheel drive, got them on the skillings. Them wheels are always gripping, them wheels are never slipping. S1.